Sarah Palin steps down as governor of Alaska tomorrow at a picnic in Fairbanks, but her poll numbers are already steadily dropping. In today's early line, we ask, is Sarah Palin a viable future candidate for the GOP? Joining us to tackle that one in Washington this morning, Republican strategist Buchanan and David Frum, former speechwriter for George W. Bush, also the founder of thenewmajority.com. And with us here in the New York studio, author Ann Coulter. Good to have all of you with us this morning. Bay, I'd like to begin with you. I know that in the past you've been a very vocal supporter of Governor Palin. Moving forward, though, as a Republican strategist, if she came to you and said, I want to continue my political career, what kind of future does she have?
She's hurt herself badly, if indeed she wants to run for President of the United States, Erica. As much as I'm crazy about her and think she's enormously talented, she's done two things in the last 6 months which I think has damaged her opportunity, and that is she hasn't really gotten herself an expertise on the issues. She comes down to the lower 48 unprepared for the media, in my personal opinion, with kind of trite responses to their questions. And secondly, she's quit. Quitting is not a good thing. It'll hurt her badly in the long run, makes her less electable.
And quitting has been, as much as she's tried to avoid that label, Anne, that has really stuck with her since the resignation was announced on July 3rd. But you're convinced she can overcome that?
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with Bay on the first point. I don't know that Sarah Palin wants to run for president, but she's already a bigger story than the president of the United States. There were two stories yesterday. For the first time, this Mr. Popularity, President Obama's popularity, public approval ratings fell below 50% for the first time. Mm-hmm. And a former vice presidential candidate, Sarah Palin's public approval ratings fell to 40%. What was the big story? So she's already bigger than Obama. She attracts a crowd.
But is attracting a crowd enough? Because as Bay said, she needs to gain some expertise, and that was her criticism.
Sure, but I think that's why she quit. That's why I think those two criticisms are mutually contradictory. I mean, she's up there. She's had, what, 17, 18 ethics complaints filed against her. Everybody wants her to speak for them. Everyone wants to attack her, and she has her hands tied behind her back because she has to be governor. So not only in terms of fundraising. So you say this is the only way she could do it to have a future, is to step back and focus on something. David, but she's too big to be stuck in a governor's office up in Alaska.
David, is she too big to be stuck in a governor's office? I'm going to give you a two-parter. And if she wants to move beyond that governor's office, how does she get the expertise that Bay mentioned she needs, specifically in, let's say, things like foreign policy?
Michael Jackson is also a bigger story than the President of the United States, but the American people aren't going to vote for him. Look, she's 45 years old. If she hasn't got she's been the governor of a state. If she hasn't got the expertise, she's never going to get it. Basically, quitting for the stated reason that you can't get anything done in your job, and because you can't endure the criticism you're receiving, and then cashing in order to make a lot of money is not a good resume with which to run for President of the United States. She was a calamitous candidate in October of 2008. We've never seen poll numbers for anybody decline as fast, for any national candidate decline as fast as they did for Sarah Palin. The more the American people know her, the more unacceptable she became, and that trend's going to continue.
Bay, the GOP seems to be split in many ways. Sarah Palin does have a very strong following among the conservative base, but within the party, there seems to be a lot of division as to support. Would she be a help, though, to the party if she didn't, say, look at elected office, but maybe went for something like fundraising?
Well, we already have Ann Coulter. We don't need two. Ann does an excellent job, and this would merely be a copycat.
Well, let me do an excellent job on this. The Michael Jackson comparison is silly, David. Sarah Palin is not a singer. These are both politicians.
She's
to say
talented.
That the poll ratings of Obama went every night, the news is starting with, and we lead tonight
and the focus this morning, and the focus though is Sarah Palin. So let's stay with her.
That's how big she is. Apparently, she's getting ratings, or everybody wouldn't be constantly talking about her. She has an ineffable quality. People are attracted to her, and she's a quick study. She can learn if she wants to, and I totally disagree that this is bad for her to quit.
Go ahead,
She's already done everything she needs to do. She turned over the governorship to the lieutenant governor, who's a fantastic right-winger.
And you know, there's a commitment you make when you run for elected office, and that is to the voters that you're going to be there in office fighting for them for that period of time. She broke that trust. That is extremely harmful.
That's absolutely false. The voters of Alaska are delighted with what she did because they're sick of these investigations.
And I have run campaigns. I'll tell you, you have somebody who quits, and what you do is tell the people, you can't trust that person.
But you can say that, Bay. You can say that in a Washington studio. We know that the Alaska voters do not feel that way. So if you're talking about her commitment to the voters,
I'm going to jump in here.
They support what she did.
I'm going to jump in here and let the lone man.
She's not running in Alaska. She's not
I'm going to let the lone man have a word. Because David, because she's not running in Alaska, you got to give David a word. Go ahead.
I think this exchange just shows what a wonderful uniter Sarah Palin is. Look, if this is the effect she has on Republicans, this is not what you need. This is the Republican Party right now faces a couple of burdens. We know from the Bush years that we were seen, and I'm speak as a Republican, as not competent, not effective. So we better find somebody who is seen as competent and effective. And a governor who quit because she said, I can't get my agenda through the state legislature. It's harder to get things through Congress. She's not going to be much of a president.
We're going to have to leave it there. A heated and exciting and interesting discussion as always. I appreciate the three of you being with us. And Coulter, David Frum, Bay Buchanan. This is not the last time. I have a feeling we'll be discussing this.